So what we have here is a couple of Chinese windmill palms, otherwise known as Trachycarpus fortunei. These are native to areas of China. They are an interesting palm. They're the most cold hardy arborescent palm in the world, or trunking palm. They are hardy into zone 8 and even into zones of 7, more so on the eastern half of North America where they have warmer summers and maybe warmer wintertime days. They can take frost, they can take snow. We're really fortunate that I can grow these. As you can see, there's quite a bit of variability among them. These two are, the one on the right is really dark green, the one on the left is a little more of a pale yellow color. These were put in at the same size. The one on the right just grows at a wonderful pace, and it tends to have stiffer fronds, whereas this one has got a little more of the droopy frond. I would say in a good year you're going to get about 18 inches of trunk. They do, especially when you transplant larger ones, they kind of sit there for a bit. They don't always take off. They need a little bit of time to adjust, but once they do, they really start going. They do like regular water. I mean, they are drought tolerant, but they definitely do a lot better, grow better with water. You will see the fronds start to close up when they have extreme drought. You'll start to see some yellowing on the tips. So my recommendation is to make sure they get regular water during the summer. These palms actually don't do well in really hot places. They're not all that successful in Florida or Hawaii. They would do much better in more like Georgia, North Florida, things like that. They grow these all the way up, I'm pretty sure unprotected in the ground, all the way up into Virginia, and even in areas of the DC suburbs. People will grow them further north, but then they require some sort of protection. Here, it's not cold enough. I'm zone 8B, and they love it. These palms actually prefer more of a cooler climate. So I'm outside of Portland, Oregon, and we have what's classified as an oceanic climate. So we do get very hot, dry summers, but most of the year it's moderate and moderate rainfall throughout the year. July and August are generally the exception, and that's when I would give them some supplemental watering. Not because they wouldn't survive, but because I want them to keep growing. These were maybe a 5-gallon size when I put them in about 3 years ago, and the one on the right's up to 9 or 10 feet now. That's quite a bit of trunk, and the one thing that I tend to notice is the ones in the Pacific Northwest especially get really fat trunks, quite thick. I have another one that's even thicker than this. And the interesting thing about this palm is fronds from top to bottom. I've never cut a frond off this. This one I have. When they turn brown, completely brown, it's time to remove them. Don't over prune your palms. You'll set them back. You want them to grow on well, and they just look nicer this way. I probably have about 3 or 4 dozen of these. They form the backbone for my garden. I do have more tender palms that I plant amongst them as well, but these are the backbone of my garden, along with a few other species of plants. So this is Trachycarpus fortunei, otherwise known as the Chinese windmill palm.